Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Inside the Mind, a podcast about athletes. Today's guest is Monterrio Moore, who is a professional basketball player from Georgia, and we really had an in-depth conversation today about some of the mental struggles that athletes go through. Won't spoil too much of it, so roll the intro.
Just adding on what you were saying, I definitely think you got a good feel you get because I kind of have been noticing on LinkedIn because I have a lot of guys who are in that field of sports psychology, which I didn't even know was a field. I know there's psychology, but to put sports and psychology together, like you said, it's just pretty much getting on the mindset of being an athlete and
Right.
just like getting in depth with that. And cause see, my background, when I went to college, I took psychology, so I'm kind of I say semi-knowledgeable on the psychology field. So sports and psychology, that's something that's very interesting. I mean, those two topics are two things that interest me.
Right,
have
yeah.
to talk about.
Yeah. I played like recreational basketball. I never played anything serious like you have, but like even just playing basketball, it's just one of those sports where it's so up and down and like you
Oh
can go through
yes,
cold streaks like across games or within
yeah.
game. You can go in hot streaks, and it's like it's really a mental game. Half of it, I would say, at least,
Yeah.
because
I mean, I think that one of the major thing with being an athlete is like people say, it's that you constantly, yeah, like pretty much being an athlete is like the only like profession where like you are constantly being critiqued. I mean, whether by fans, coaches, analysis, everybody critiquing your game constantly. So you constantly have that pressure of, really of the unknown. You don't know how you're gonna perform. I mean, you can prepare yourself
yeah.
and probably have a higher increase your probability of having a good game. But like you said, you really don't know. So it is a lot of up and down, definitely that. You definitely gotta have a strong psyche, man, to deal with it.
Yeah, and that's just one of the things too that like you say, you can prepare for as much as you want, but until you actually go through it, then
Yeah.
you don't really know how to respond to it. I would feel like you can take an athlete and pull them aside and tell them what to do when if this goes wrong or if this person says this to you, like don't worry about it kind of thing. But it's not until you actually live that experience that you learn like how to actually deal with it. So I think a lot of athletes they almost kind of like get turned away at the first sign of adversity because they feel like it doesn't go right for them, not realizing that it's a long, like, I mean, there's professional athletes out there that still struggle with some of these things as well.
I mean, matter of fact, well, I even say recently I done seen where they start talking about uh mental illness. A lot
Hmm.
of athletes deal with depression.
Yeah.
Especially guys who probably had came out as high recruits, who came out your dudes, and then like to get in the NBA, may and your professional career don't pan out. A lot of guys deal with depression. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been hearing more and more about that, and they've been trying to put more awareness on that, on the
Yeah.
mental illness aspect of it. Like I said, with just dealing with the depression, anxiety. I mean, some of the things I deal with, I mean, anxiety, especially anxiety. I'm kind of, I deal with anxiety at times. But
Yeah. Is it like you feel like even like in the middle of a game or something, it kind of hits you all of a sudden, or is it kind of a pregame thing where you get anxious or?
it's more like a pre-game because, like we said, you could prepare, but you don't know. You don't know how the referee gonna call the game. You don't know whether your shot might fall tonight, might not fall tonight. It's just the unknown. You just don't know. I mean, like you said, you could do all the preparation, but it's just that unknown, that not like not knowing all the aspects of what you're about to get into. So it's like, I
Right.
mean, is that am I kind of explain? It's like I say that you feel your confidence kind of, I feel a person confidence sway with how much control they got in the situation. So if I walk in a situation and I feel like I got a lot of control in it, guess what? That's cut down on the anxiety because now I don't have so many unknown factors. But now if I'm walking in a situation and I feel like, what, I really don't have control of the situation. I don't have control of who the coach gonna put in. I don't have control of whether or not I get hurt. I don't have control of how the referee's gonna call the game. So those unknown factors would cause the anxiety because you anxious to see what the results gonna be.
Yeah, yeah. That's interesting because talking about like the openness now that's starting to come out about all these kind of anxiety and depression disorders or whatever the people want to label them as. There was a story that came out, I think it was yesterday that I read about it in the NFL. The guy in the Philadelphia Eagles, his name was Brandon Brooks, and he was an offensive lineman. He had to get like he left the game because he had like a panic attack or an anxiety attack or something in the middle of the NFL game. And he was saying
Wow.
that it's like something that he's been dealing with for a long time. So like every morning he wakes up and he has to throw up because he just feels so anxious. Um,
Uh,
and like that game for some particular reason that day, it just usually when he throws up he feels better, but for that some reason that day he wasn't feeling better, and that he tried to push through the game, and after like the first drive he had to leave the game because of his panic attack. So
uh,
it's just one of those things that I think just as time goes on and people are made more aware of it, there's less of a stigma attached to these things, and people kind of realize just how much athletes go through it and just the different levels of anxiety or depression they might face.
right, right. And then just kind of just add on what you just said. I feel like when they bring awareness, we also could bring awareness because like one thing my psychology it taught me is that your coping mechanism is a key phrase that a lot of people probably don't understand how you cope with these things. I mean, some of these things you know that you're gonna have to deal with. Okay, now when you deal with it, how do you cope with it? And I feel like teaching people a healthy coping mechanism will also help with that, like lessening, like helping people deal with that anxiety. Because like
Yeah.
with me, my coping mechanism is I try to lean. I'm from the south of U.S., which is considered the Bible Belt. I'm in Georgia, so they say the south of the southeast region of the United States is considered the Bible Belt. I'm not sure if you know
Yeah, I've
familiar.
heard of that. Yeah, a bit of that. Yeah.
So, so I mean, I'm not no super religious person, but I consider myself spiritual. I like to pray, like to meditate, and that's how I kind of deal with it sometimes. I have to lean on that sometimes to calm me down and to pretty much just take that pressure off myself and just more so have the mindset of I'm just gonna put my best foot forward.
Yeah. Is that something that kind of developed from your like education in psychology, or is that something that's been with you kind of your whole life just based on your family background or whatever?
Believe it or not, it actually was kind of like it was something that I had to deal with because I got cut twice in college, man, and it was it was reasons that I couldn't understand, and I was so frustrated because I never dealt with that kind of rejection in my life prior to that. So that was the only thing. Cause see, the school that I went to was a Christian college, so with that being around me, the education institute that I was at, I guess it went hand in hand. I felt like since I wasn't playing on the team, I used that time to grow spiritually and
Hmm.
get myself closer spiritually with God and stuff, and just kind of just get more of an understanding and give myself a peace of mind of who I am and having confidence on who I am as a person.
Yeah. When you got cut, was it a struggle to keep pursuing basketball after that, or what was your
Yeah,
mindset
man.
right after? Because you
I'm
had
not
said it
gonna
happened
lie, man. It was
twice,
tough.
right?
No, believe it or not, in my lifetime, I've been cut 3 times, man. And I know everybody always like I said earlier, man. I'm the type of person I'm very self-aware. I know about psychology, so I'm not in denial, but and I really don't want to go too much in details because I don't want to feel like I'm trying to put blame on people.
For
But
sure. Yeah.
I'm just being honest with the situation. The situation wasn't a fair. I pretty much didn't get a fair chance. And all three of my cuts. My first cut was in high school, and the situation with that was that what happened. All right, I was playing varsity my sophomore year. Uh, when I first came to the high school, they just hired a new basketball coach. So me and the coach got close. Like I said, it's end of my sophomore year. I'm looking forward to my junior and senior year on the varsity team. Me and the coach talking, having big plans together. The school fires him. So when the school fires him at the end of my sophomore year, I wanted to transfer. I used that as my way of justifying me transferring, leaving the school, because pretty much the school that I went to wasn't a basketball a basketball powerhouse, and there were other schools around me that I could went to that I felt like would put me in a better position for college. Because during that time, I started getting some college, letters coming my way, so I started wanting to take it more serious and really looking at the opportunity of playing college ball. So I tried to transfer schools. Long story short, I was staying with my grandparents, old school, so they didn't want me to leave. They felt like they pretty much wanted me just to finish where I was at. They didn't understand the sports aspect of it because like first of all, in my family, I'm like the only real athlete. I mean, with this generation. I think I had an uncle who passed away when I was younger. He played sports. Found out he played basketball, won a high school championship. But other than that, there was no other athlete around me. So a lot of times when I was dealing with stuff, it would be like it would be something that I would have to, like it was stuff that I had to learn on the fly kind of thing. I didn't have nobody to give me advice. There were things I just had to learn as I go. And those are one of them things where, like I said, with the coach situation, I tried to transfer, and when I tried to transfer, my grandparents made me stay at my school, so I stayed there. I tried out for the team, and I know the coach. He said he said I cut you because I missed his summer workout programs. But at the same time, I'm telling him like, dude, I was trying to transfer, so I felt like he kind of penalized me for that. But I mean, I guess he figured that I wasn't committed to him, so he used that against me, and it crushed me because I'm like, man, first of all, I am a I am a returning varsity player. So I really felt like it was kind of like a backstab right there, because like most time when coaches come to a school, the varsity players, returning varsity players, can always get a chance roster on the spot because you pretty much returning.
Mm-hmm.
So he ended up cutting me. When he cuts me, all right. So that's my first time cutting me. Now let's fast forward. Now I'm in college now, and like I said, I went to two small little Christian colleges. My choice was because I mean, it was on the spiritual side. I mean, the spiritual aspect was one of my reasons having interest of going to them schools and to play ball too, because I felt like since I didn't get a chance to play my last 2 years of high school, I felt like I pretty much had to walk on the to play in college. So I decided to try these small private Christian schools, thinking that, hey, man, I'm going to a Christian school, I'm being a gullible young guy. Like, hey, man, Christians gonna always give people a fair chance. And not realizing, man, that I was prejudged so much at the school, man, with my dreadlocks, tattoos, just really didn't get a fair chance. Kept getting prejudged. I mean, I remember one time I had asked the coach, 'cause I was frustrated. I'm like, why you keep cutting me? Like I'm doing good in the trials, I'm doing good in all the workouts, and he tell me, it was the exact word. He say, I see you as a bad apple, and it kind of it made me spaz out a little bit, and that's one of them instances where I would say that me not having another athlete in my family, an older person who I could probably seek some advice from, I might have dealt with that rejection a little better. But me being young and me just wanting it so bad, uh, I think I put my foot in my mouth because, like I said, I got mad when he told me that bad apple thing. 'Cause I felt like he would now, because I felt like when he said made that comment, now it's not about basketball no more. You pretty much it's not basketball related no more. Now you are you are making it a character thing. And in my head, I was thinking like, first of all, you didn't recruit me, so you really don't know nothing about me. So where this prejudgment you got of me? I mean, the only prejudgment you can do is just my outer appearance. You don't know where I'm from. You don't know nothing about my background. You never talked to none of my coaches. So, like I said, that frustrating. So, all right, he cut me 1 year. He cut me. Matter of fact, I got cut 3 times. Well, no, 2 times. 2 times. 'Cause I didn't even get a chance to try out the mother 2 times. Well, all right. So he cut me my freshman year in college. I got cut. Sophomore year, I tried to come back again. He cut me again. So I'm just really frustrated. I'm like, okay, this guy just not gonna give me a chance. So I think I had just brought my first car at the time. And that's be honest, that's the only reason why I stayed my junior year at the same college. So I stayed my junior year, didn't even try out for the team. I was so mad and like just so disgusted. I didn't even try out for the team my junior year. I just, just kept working out. I pretty much used the opportunity and just thinking positive about it. Cause see, that's something that kind of helped me with a lot of my rejection. Is that I always try to look at everything happened for a reason. Good and the bad, good or bad, everything happened for a reason. And with that mindset, I believe that any bad situation, with me, I could pull some kind of good out of it. Pull some kind of reasoning, some kind of logical reason out of it. And I felt like, where I'm about to go with this. Okay. So okay, yeah. So like I said, when the coach didn't pick me up, I said okay. Because at first, I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking about, man, I'm about to drop out of school. But I had some of my buddies, some of the guys who playing on the team tell me, man, no, man, don't quit like that. Just stay down. So I stayed down. What I about to say? So let me get my train of thought. All right, okay, that's it. Okay, yeah. So what I meant by turning a bad situation. So when I got cut, I'm looking like, okay, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, how can I turn this bad situation to a good situation for myself or a beneficial situation for myself? So what I did was I had the mindset. I said, okay, yes, I'm not planning on this. My initial purpose of coming to the school, I'm not getting that. But what I did was I said, okay, I got a gym, I got a weight room that I got access to. I got 24/7 access to. So I said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna work my butt off, and that's what I really did, man. Be honest, man. It was kind of funny because, like, really, when I was working out in college, I was working out for that next college opportunity, and I really never even played college ball. Uh, uh, so pretty much, I felt like just once again looking at how that bad situation worked out for my good is that I felt like that kind of gave me a leg up when I did step out and start trying to play professional in the ABA and all these different leagues. Is that I thought in my head one time when I first started playing my little professional career, I said, you know what, man, I'm glad I did work out. I'm glad I didn't sit around moping about it and sat on my butt. I mean, like when I said I was working out, man, I mean I was working out like there was time where I'm in the gym more than the school basketball players. Like everybody at the school knew. Like people used to ask me, like, why you not on the team? I mean, it got so like people so intrigued about this dude who's not playing on no school team, but he just stayed working. Like he's always in the gym. He always in the gym. He always in the gym. That like actually, man, I'm not even trying to. I'm not trying to hype myself up, but you know how you do intramural sports.
Yeah.
All right, so intramural every year at all my colleges in intramural, I was like the guy who everybody wanted to pick up. Like dudes would actually fight over me to pick me up. Like honestly, I mean there was times where, like I said, the school we went to was a small school. So when they had basketball games for the basketball team, I mean you could count on your hand how many people was there. No lie, there was times where when I played intramural, the games that my team was playing in, there were as many people at my games than there was at the school game, the school basketball game, because just that many people intrigued about this guy. So yeah, man. But yeah, it looked
Yeah,
cool, little
yeah.
fat.
Yeah.
So okay, so like I said, he cut me in my freshman year. Sophomore year he cut me. My junior year I didn't even try out for him. So I ended up transferring. I transferred to a school that was in the same division, thinking that, okay, you know what, I'm about to make this team and I'm about to get my get back because now I'm gonna be in the same division with this school that I'm gonna be in the same division with the school that cut me. So I'm like, oh yeah, okay, yes, I get a chance to get back. I go to that school. Once again, it was just not a fair opportunity. The coach was telling me his reason for cutting me was that he saw me as a 1 year player. Even though I had 2 years of eligibility, I mean, really all my years of eligibility, but how I was strangling, I was going to go to school for 5 years. Pretty much I was stretching out my graduate degree. I mean, my undergrad
Mm-hmm.
degree. I was trying to stretch it out so I can make 5 years and get my. Because remember, I told you I already got cut 2 years. my junior year in college, I didn't even try out. So that left me with just my senior year. So my goal was to push it to 5 years by the time I got my bachelor. So when I go to the other school, the coach tell me that he saw me as a 1 year player. He cuts me. So, like I said, those cuts there. No, that last cut, I really was thinking about like just leaving basketball, man. Like just like stop playing. 'Cause I just felt like I was just so crushed, man. Cause like one day I found out like just going through just my cut, getting a cut, my basketball journey is that not trying to tell people don't play and stuff, but at the same time I learned that just concentrate on what I could control. Because a lot of times I felt like when I went to these schools, I had certain expectations going in, and when I didn't meet those expectations, I felt like they would make that rejection even more like just a dagger in my heart. Cause I'm like, I done told this person, that person that I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna do this and do that, and I hate looking silly, man. I hate having saying something and not backing up my word, man, or saying something and having to renege on my word and looking crazy, man. I hate that. I always like to kind of fall, follow through with my word or whatever I say.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing from that story is just how much adversity athletes go to, and I think that athletes, they have to go through some sort of adversity to kind of get that chip on their shoulder when they get to that next level as a pro athlete.
Yeah.
And especially in basketball. I mean, I was even thinking today just how many, being from the Toronto area, I'm a Raptors fan, and just thinking about how many undrafted guys are on the Raptors that make a name for themselves, like Fred VanVleet, who's undrafted and ended up being like one of the starters when they made that
Right.
finals run. And now they have Terrence Davis, who's undrafted, I think out of Ole Miss or
Yeah.
Mississippi State, one of the two. And then they have just other guys like Chris Boucher. They just like they're riddled with guys that are undrafted, and there's just something about the adversity of an athlete, and I think specifically I see it mostly in basketball, where like guys that are constantly put down or not given that chance or being overlooked, they play with that chip on their shoulder that just puts them above everybody else, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, one thing I get a lot is that a lot of people when they see me play, the first thing they like to point out is that, man, you are a real hustler, my man. Your motor's so high, and I guess it's almost like a unconscious thing because I don't really put my mind into it. Oh, play hard, play hard. I'm just playing with passion. That's all I'm
Yeah.
doing. And but I feel like just on what you just said about the chip on the shoulder, I feel like unconsciously maybe that's why I play so hard is because I was cut so many times that after a while it started making me play harder and harder and harder and harder and made me almost feel like I got played perfect.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
sometimes it does mess with me because like I did get to that at one point. I got to a point where I was telling myself, man, I gotta be perfect when I go to these trials. I can't miss no shots, and that was too much pressure on myself. I mean, LeBron James, everybody missed shots. Steve Curry missed shots, and like I said, there's a lot of things I still deal with. Just kind of just trying to keep my confidence up high. Like you said, dealing with all the adversity I dealt with. But I definitely would say that I got a chip on my shoulder, man.
Yeah.
Even to this day, I still got a chip on my shoulder just because of people trying to limit me, put limitations on me.
How did you, going back to what you said about how things had to be so perfect early on, how did you change that mindset? Like, was there something that you like did to get yourself out of that mindset, or was it just talking to somebody, or how did you kind of get over? And it's almost like accepting that things aren't perfect.
Well, I guess I really I really can't really just like pinpoint nothing exactly. I would just more so say just life experiences, man, or just like I said, it was something that before my high school, I mean, well, pretty much my basketball career kind of started like this. Eighth grade, I made my eighth grade team. That was my first year playing recreational basketball. And I mean official basketball. I mean regulated basketball. My bad. Regulated basketball was my eighth grade year. I was playing on the eighth grade team, and I was playing on a rec team, a local rec team. So to go from there, I mean just playing ball all the time. We had back when I was younger, we had this gym called Run and Shoot, and Run and Shoot was a gym where it had eight basketball courts. I mean full courts.
Right.
Full basketball courts. And that used to be like the basketball mecca coming up. Like overseas guys, and one guys. I'm not sure you heard of that before. And one street basketball.
Yeah, yeah,
Those
yeah.
guys those guys used to be there all the time. So I mean it was a lot of great competition. And just being in them different places and stuff. And like I said, I never. I mean, man, coming up, there was time where I could just walk on the team. Like I just had natural skills where I could just walk on the team. There was times I had walked on the team when I was younger and made a team. Have a buddy take me to the game. I told him, hey man, I want to play, and I just hollered at the coach and say, hey man, can I play? And I played that same day. So to go from just, I guess, that not having no kind of adversity to run across adversity, I guess that would make me realize that, okay, things don't always go the way we want. Okay,
Hmm.
okay, I see sometimes we gotta adapt, we gotta adjust our plans as we go.
Yeah.
And that
What
and that would
one thing too that I think like why athletes why they want everything to be so perfect, maybe not be for all the cases, but I think for some cases it's because they aren't confident in themselves and they feel like they have to be perfect in order to just simply make a team or something, because they feel like one mistake will kind of set them back and not let them make the team. So I think for some athletes, just realizing just how big of a piece confidence is and building up the confidence of that player so that when they make mistakes they can bounce back for them, and realize that everybody makes mistakes. And like you said, comparing to LeBron James, like in basketball, like we'll take the 3-point shot for example. Like if somebody hits 40% of their threes, that's like usually top of the league.
right, right,
And that's not even half of hitting half your shots. So when you put that
right,
into perspective, like
right.
basketball isn't a sport built on perfectionism. It's a sport built on hustle and picking yourself back up. And when you miss 5 shots in a row, you're going to hit that sixth shot.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely that, man. Definitely take that. Like I said, a lot of it is just mental and how your coping mechanism. Like just go back to that. How you cope with these adversity that you deal with on the
Yeah.
court and just in life outside the basketball court too. But that's it though. Really your coping mechanism. I mean, some guys like you said, some guys when they miss shot, they automatically their coping mechanism is that they automatically see themselves visual. They visually see themselves hitting their net shot or visually see themselves already making the shot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Visual. Yeah, that's such a huge piece now. I feel like in the last little like couple years or so, like that's emerging like with athletes and different teams and stuff, is they do a lot of visualization and like you're actually picturing yourself going down that court hitting that three, or you're visualizing yourself, playing lockdown D with like 5 seconds left or whatever. And I think for some people it's hard for them to wrap their head around just how effective it is until they actually do it. And until you kind of hit that moment where you're visualizing something and then later that day you actually do it. And it's something about that process of almost like training your mind to do it before it actually happens kind of thing. It's really interesting, and I think that all athletes can benefit from it. And one thing that I wanted to get your opinion on that you mentioned coping mechanisms was your coping mechanisms when you deal with injuries, because I know that's such a I don't know if you've personally gone through any injuries or major injuries, but for basketball players, someone's usually always injured on the team. So did you ever have to go through any major injuries or something, and if you did, how were you able to cope with taking the time away from the game?
Um, well, no, I never went through no major injury. I had like a little slight injury back, a little minor injury back when I was in my sophomore year with the varsity, what caused me to miss a lot of the playing time, miss a miss majority of the season that year. Um, but I would say pretty much with that missing that time and how I cope with it, just being around the game.
Yeah,
Just really just that, man. Like, as long as you're around it, I mean, even really, it's kind of at the same time, it's kind of hard too. Cause I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna say I'm perfect. Cause there's times where, like for instance, I had stitches in my hand. I was young and I did something crazy and I messed up my hand. I had to wear a cast. I had stitches around my knuckle. And me, instead of letting it heal, I'm over here trying to play basketball and PE before it heals. So
Mm.
it's like it's hard to just say you're not gonna deal with no kind of depression or sadness off of not playing, because all athletes want to play. I mean, that's in the bottom line is, I mean, you got guys in the bench who they don't care that they're on the team, they want to play.
Right,
You got
right.
guys who go overseas because not because they want to go see another country, because they know that they could play overseas. They know that, hey, I could get a lot of minutes overseas instead of riding a bench, be at the end of somebody's bench in the NBA. So I definitely won't downplay that. Playing time is huge though, but I would say just with that, like I say, just spiritual, and just my spirituality, I lean on a lot with that. Just understanding that God allowed everything happen for a reason. Like I said, try to pull out maybe some positive out of it. Okay, so say, okay, if I'm injured, I got missed this season, or say, okay, say I'm injured, I had injured my right hand. Well, go to the gym and work on your left hand. Or say if I injure my knee, then work on my upper body strength. So you see what I'm saying? So still, you can still find something, pretty much have something to get your mind off of thinking about things, think about the negativity, think about why, dang, you not playing, and man, I wish I could be with the guys.
Yeah.
I guess that would be the best thing I would say. Find something to occupy your mind. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. And I think one a good topic to kind of wrap this up with is that all these things that we've talked about today, kind of like, depression that, when you're playing sports, whether it's through injury or getting cut or whatever, or anxiety from, pre-game anxiety or in the game anxiety. I think the root of it all is these things are happening because you have such a love for the game. And if you didn't like truly care about the game, you wouldn't care that much to have, to be super sad when you can't play or to be super anxious about the game. So I think that it's kind of like a double-edged sword, maybe. I don't know if that's the right expression. Maybe a catch-22 to
Yeah,
brush up on
yeah.
my
I mean,
to brush up on my English
no,
linguistics.
are you
But
good? I
yeah,
get what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's like it's the good with the bad. I mean, you
right.
got to take the good with the bad, pretty much, man. Like football, a perfect sport update. I mean,
Yeah,
there's a great chance of a person getting injured in football,
yeah,
but like they said, that's the point. That's the chance you take. Boxing, that sport. Hey, there's a good chance that you could get some real serious brain damage. But like I say, it's your passion overruled all that sacrifice. It's all worth it. Like I say, in the
yeah,
day, it's all worth it. It's like they say, the the enjoyment come going through your journey. That would enjoyment come from just going through that journey, going through these things, going through all that different stuff. That's when where the enjoyment come in at, not at the
yeah,
end or the beginning, but just going through that stuff and
yeah.
getting through the stuff.
And I think even, I mean, one thing I just thought of now to maybe clarify is, even though, these things of anxiety or depression might be rooted in just your passion for the game, that's not to say that if somebody doesn't have anxiety or depression, that doesn't mean that they don't love the game. It just means maybe that they've gone through it before and they realize how to deal with it. Or I'm trying to get at, there's a journey with an athlete, right? Like, so, like you start off at one point and you develop personally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, all the different domains, so that you can get to a place from you have a passion for the game and you care about it so much that you get anxious or you get depressed, to a point where you still love the game just as much, but you're able to have these coping mechanisms like you talked about to kind of help deal with unpleasant situations that don't let you play the game.
Well, I would say I I I agree with the term that you write on that yeah, if a guy don't have deal with some don't if a guy don't have to deal with some of the stuff like depression or certain things that come, like you said, come with the passion part,
Mm.
I would say that yes, you're right about that. Is that maybe because like with me, I'm thinking in my head that okay, when you soon as you said that, I said, you know what, one could be that everybody got their own way of coping with things. So
Right.
maybe what I'm not maybe good at coping with, it's kind of like funerals. I don't know if you ever heard this saying, but everybody deal with death different. Some people
Yeah.
cry and boo hoo, some people don't show no emotion at all. So this person don't show no emotion at all. Do that mean that they don't care?
Yeah.
No, everybody kind of got their own way. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I would say though, it's because I know this term, and like I said with psychology, is that self-awareness. I feel like we said, a lot of people don't really believe in psychology. They believe a lot of this stuff is just head stuff, and man, that stuff don't work. Like we was talking about earlier about how visual aid and nowadays people are getting more and more into that kind of stuff and being more aware of the beneficial. But I'm saying that if a guy not, sometimes he might have to check himself and be more, be more what's the word I want to look for? Be real with yourself. Cause I mean I don't care. Like people say, we all gonna go through it, man. There's no way a guy could tell me they don't have butterflies. I mean, everybody have butterflies. I mean, like I said, it's just everybody deal with these certain things, man. There's certain things that everybody deal with. Everybody deal with the person. If you have something that don't go your way, we all get sad about it. There's no way a person can say, well, I don't get sad. You might not show it like I show it,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like there's certain things that with the passion part, you gonna all are going to go through the same things, man. I feel like there are
Yeah.
similarities if you really do have passion. I mean, passion mean like I had passion where I didn't need nobody to tell me to work out. I didn't have to have a trainer around me. I didn't have no daddy who would try to relive his glory days in me. Nah, all my passion came from natural stuff. That's me naturally wanting to play the game, me naturally wanting to get better, me naturally just want to accomplish what I set out to get. So you see what I'm trying to say? So
Yeah.
like it's an innate thing. So it's like it's really kind of hard just to kind of like when things innate, it's kind of hard to put it up on the one basket because innate. When I mean what I mean by that is saying that see when something innate, there's really no way of just kind of judging. I can't really just say how it's really kind of like hard to describe the passion level I have. You see what I'm trying to say? Like I could describe it in words, but there's some things I can't just describe about my hunger for the game and how much I love the game. Like there's sometimes words can't describe that. And we're going back to what I was saying about where innate, you can put everything in the same basket, meaning that okay, we both could have passion, but there could be different levels of passion. Now there's different level of spirituality. If you know with spiritual, some people level of spirituality higher than other people. Some people uh, uh, can't be around somebody who's drinking. Then somebody else could be around somebody who's drinking and it doesn't taint their spirit. So you see what I'm trying to say? It's like medicine. Yes, we like okay, cold medicine will help both of us get over our sickness, but at the same time we might not need the same doses.
Mm-hmm.
Do that not mean that we both not sick, even though we both not taking the same doses to get well? You
Mm-hmm.
see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it kind of leads into this last point I was going to make was that things that we discuss here are things that athletes hear from other people. Just because something works for somebody doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So somebody
Right.
could listen to something that I say, something that you say, something that their coach says, and we could tell them three completely different answers for how to deal with something because how we deal with something it comes from what works for us, and because every athlete is unique that there's general guidelines or like a foundation of how to
Right.
deal with things, but everything can kind of be tailored to the individual.
Yes, definitely. I definitely agree with that. I agree with all that what you just said. Definitely. Yeah, because I mean, everybody have their own journey, own walk, and that's another way of how kind of deal with help me cope with some of my adversity with that getting cut is that because see a lot of times I got caught in that my basketball story got to be the same like everybody else's basketball story. Everybody's story not the same, and now it's like I'm taking more ownership of it, and that's why I'm honored by you. You know, you reaching out to me because in my head I would think that hey man, I'm not nobody. You know, I'm no NBA guy, but it's this my story. You know, it's my story. So I can't look at how LeBron's basketball story go or how or this guy over here or this guy over there. You know, just take like it's like taking ownership of your individuality.
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say taking ownership of that. I think that would make basketball such a beautiful sport is that you got five individuals out there and get five individuals to move like your fingers do, move like your hand do, where they all in sync together. I think that's
Yeah.
the beauty of basketball, and that's one thing I love about the sport.
I think that's a very poetic way to end this to end this podcast. Thanks, guys, again for checking out this episode. If you enjoyed any part of it, please share it with your friends and family, and I'll speak to you next time.